Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol and welcome to a very sunny Goodwood. Now I'm here with Harwoods and actually at the invite of McLaren New Forest to drive the brand new McLaren GT on the road for the first time. And I must say I am super excited. Having been to the launch event for the GT at Woking a few months ago now, I've just been itching to drive the car, and today is the day. Now, it is going to be a pretty short drive. It's basically a day that they're bringing new customers to drive the car for the first time. So we're going to take it on a short drive around the roads around Goodwood, but just long enough for me to do a one-take first impression review. I have a feeling this car is going to be very special. So let's jump in and go and see just how good it is. Welcome to the new McLaren GT. Now, regular viewers on the channel will recognise the gentleman sat to the left of me because you let me do burnouts up the hill at Goodwood.
We did, up the hill.
In the Alpha.
That's
but you were
right,
in a different brand today.
Well, you know, everyone has to move with the times.
Yeah. So the thing you find out when you do these things is these guys, the professional drivers and the guys that do all the experience, you work across brand and do different things?
Yeah, we normally work with 2 or 3 brands, but McLaren is my major brand that I work with all the time. Yeah.
And what a brand to work with.
Absolutely,
now,
very
here
proud.
we are inside the cabin. Now, I went to the launch event and this car intrigued me because I love McLaren as a brand. I just love the look of them, the drive of them. But this just takes it to another level. The interior in this is stunning.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just leather everywhere. What you can't get across on camera is that smell of leather, and that deck at the back is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
Really huge. So we've got a pre-planned route in your head.
Yep.
I probably know which one it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Up to the racecourse, turn right, along there. Turn
You
right,
got it.
back again.
Spot on. Yeah. I'll leave you to it. Yeah.
So let's fire this thing into action.
Sure.
Start-stop is there.
So foot and brake.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have my foot. Very nice. And then is it just grab a paddle or?
Yeah, you can do that.
You
can grab the paddle and put it into drive, and then as soon as you come off the brake, because we've got our belts on, it will release the handbrake. If you don't have your safety belts on, it won't release the brake.
Now, very unusually, I'm being allowed to drive it through the tunnel and out of Goodwood.
Well,
Very trusting.
I trust you. I've driven with you before.
I know, yeah. And that's actually good that you decided you want to come back in the car with me. So
clear this way.
We are here at Harwoods track day, so there's lots of very lovely cars going around the track and on road routes. But this is also, so you've got 4 GTs running today.
Yeah, it's three GTs on the road.
Yeah.
And there's a Senna on display, which is absolutely incredible.
It is.
And there's a 600 LT and a 720 on circuit. So I suggest you need to get in those as well.
Yeah. 600 LT, my favourite McLaren by some margin.
It is incredible.
720S frightens me.
Yeah, it certainly wakes you up in the morning at 720.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is where the GT is different to the other models. So it really is entering the GT market. It's, as you've already sort of listened to, it's much quieter.
Yeah.
And actually, Bad found out, it's much softer on the road. Far longer, gentler throttle pedals. It doesn't feel quite so eager until you're really sort of pressing on it.
It's got a higher nose and not so much sticking out nose as well, so you don't have to be so scared of speed bumps.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you like, it's a much more everyday car sort of thing in that sense. So as you'll start to feel now, some of these roads are perfect for showing how they soak up the bumps.
We are about to go up Kennel Hill, and Kennel Hill is a shocking piece of tarmac.
It is. It's almost getting us more famous than the hill itself.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, let's go up Kennel Hill. The steering, as you would expect, is super light and has a nice feel, even within the first few hundred metres and at hardly any speed at all. But yeah, my expectations of this car is a car that feels just a little bit less edgy,
yes,
but still edgier than most, if that makes sense.
But what we'll find out is that at these sort of speeds, in its normal comfort mode, it is, we've entered the GT market with this car.
Yeah.
No question about that. But what you'll also find out, when we get a bit further in, we'll put it up to track
yeah,
on the settings, and you'll feel how the car literally evolves back into what you know as McLaren. So that's still underlying.
You want that kind of Jekyll and Hyde character.
That's exactly what it does.
And this is the bit of tarmac that is shocking, and actually it's kind of normal saloon car smoothness, not supercar smoothness.
Absolutely,
that's really impressive.
But you also feel that longer suspension travel.
Yes.
So normally you've got a shorter suspension travel, and it's therefore, and the way it's set up is harsher. So you'll get much more of those shocks on this road, as we know. You'll get much more of those shocks come back through into the cabin, where those are all quietened out. That longer travel absorbs the bumps much more.
And you're right, the throttle, it's quite a heavy throttle, and
you've got to do a lot
really got to move it quite a lot.
Absolutely.
to get some.
So it's a much more relaxing, easier drive than sort of the more edgier McLarens, if you will.
Dare I say, it's a McLaren that actually doesn't feel like you want to drive it that fast. It's just quite nice to mooch.
It is. Absolutely. But isn't that what a GT car's about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you kind of the line that you always say in cars like this is you could drive this to the south of France.
Yes.
But the nice thing is, I was amazed at the launch at how much luggage you could get in this thing.
Yes.
They had golf clubs and all kinds of things.
Absolutely. Looks like you've taken this route before.
I have. This is my very common reviewing road. I've probably reviewed over 100 cars up this bit of tarmac.
You feel that gear change, how gentle?
Super smooth, and that's in the automatic. So if we can push the, is there a manual button?
Yeah, sure. So basically make the active, the panel go active, and the manual button is now it's lit. So now you can change that. Then we'll hold that in manual for you, so it won't go back to automatic. So remember, you're in comfort mode, so you're still going to get that nice gentle gear change on there.
Nice gear change, nice road manners, really smooth. Is it possible for a car to impress you within a mile? I think we just answered that. The visibility out the front is incredible. It's just there seems to be so much glass and air. That's the glass that changes.
Absolutely. So you can make it a sunny day if you want to. Just press the button.
That's so cool.
So if the sun gets too much, you just darken the screen off, which is really nice. It's a really interesting thing that all McLarens start with, and goes right back. The history of it goes right back to when the F1 was made 25 years ago. In that, where the driver sits, first of all of the limbs have to be in a straight line. So nothing's offset. So your feet aren't, into the centre of the car, for example. So everything, all your hips, ankles, all your joints are in a straight line. That's the first part of McLaren. The second part is that you need to quite clearly understand where the four corners of the car are. So where are the wheels placed? Sounds obvious, but if you jump in a number of different cars, it's not so obvious where the corners of the car are. That gear change is
so smooth.
It is unbelievable.
And on the way down, there's no hesitation at all. There's no, are you really sure you want to change down gear? Okay, I'll change down gear for you. It's
you're in control.
You pulled the paddle, I'm going to change for you. Soundtrack's quite nice. I mean,
we can liven that up.
Cool, go on.
So if we change that over to track now, you'll suddenly hear that. So
and the display's changed.
Display's changed, and you'll start feeling that information. We've got cyclist there. Sorry, I didn't mean to point out the obvious. No. Sadly, there's many a cyclist killed on this road. Right, for that reason, actually. So you feel now a sharper throttle.
Oh yeah.
And also the exhaust tone has changed as well. So it's a lot more engaging from that. But also now you can feel it's a much firmer ride. So the steering's changed as well. So you'll feel that's slightly heavier.
So we in track.
So that's track now, So I've changed both the ride, the powertrain and the chassis.
And although the suspension's firmed up, it's still not harsh and
not super aggressive.
It's firm. But it doesn't skip on the road. And again, this road is one of those ones that's got the nasty kind of bumps that just unsettle.
Absolutely,
quite like the display that's in front now with a big long line rev counter. Reminds me of my old S2000 actually.
Yes. So when you change down now, you'll get a more aggressive down change. If you come down the lower gears, it'll do that much quicker blend.
Yeah. And you get a few little burbles.
Yeah. Bit of theatre.
Again, that gear change is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
The brakes need a good push.
Okay.
They're quite firm, aren't they?
Yeah.
That just sounds.
Bit of theatre going. Yeah.
That
So
really
let's
sound
go
very
back
good.
into comfort mode now.
Yeah.
And now you just it's going to throttle pedal's changed.
Yeah.
Engine's quietened off. And you've got the softer gear change again, but a different ride. So the point being is that you've got, it's a really good example there of going that road and then coming and making the changes to the settings again.
Yeah.
As using the Jekyll and Hyde, you have that real nice, plush, comfortable, quiet GT experience.
Yeah.
When you want it, you can wind it up and get much more that sports car experience.
Because what I wasn't so sure about how this car, because McLarens, in terms of when you sit in them, they feel so edgy and so ready to race. I just put that back into auto.
Yeah.
They feel so edgy and racy. You think, well, how's that going to translate into a kind of GT cruisy type car?
Sure.
The seats, they're firm but nice and comfy. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, can I sit in these for hours on end? I can't see why. They feel really nice. The steering wheel is still what I love about McLaren steering wheels. I don't know what it is about them. I think it's the shape, because they're not round. They're kind of like an elliptical shape that way. And they're just always really nice to hold on to.
Well, there's a story behind that.
Really?
Yeah. It's interesting you picked up that point, but you see how it naturally fits in your hand around that, where your hands are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So going back 12C is when Lewis Hamilton was around McLaren, and they used his hand grip to shape the steering wheel.
Really?
They got it slightly wrong and had to redo it because they measured it with his gloves on. So they had to go back and redo that because obviously it's too narrow. So that's where that actual grip feel comes from. It just naturally sits in your hand.
And even pheasant,
Wildlife?
even where the spoke of the steering wheel is, it kind of dips down, so you can still have your fingers there.
Yeah.
And it just feels.
And no controls on the steering wheel either.
No, I think that.
So it's all very clean.
Yeah, it is. Much bigger dash than in other McLarens, and loads of information on there in terms of obviously changes.
It's a new dash layout, but yeah.
Hopefully, just round this corner, there's an excuse to get past this car. That's the number one reason to have lots of power, is you can get past stuff safely.
Absolutely.
He says, trying to make an excuse for having a really fast supercar.
But it was attractive.
The reason to buy a supercar, this is consumer advice, people. The reason to buy a McLaren GT is you can overtake tractors really easily. When you get some more sweeping bends, I love this little bit of road because it's got nice radius bends, pretty good tarmac, and it's that transition from left to right.
Yeah.
It feels so settled, and we're driving probably about 15% of what this car's capable of.
Yeah.
But then I think when you drive something like 600 LT or 720S on the public road, they're not really designed to do that. This feels to me like it's designed to have a nice drive on the public road and not go around a racetrack.
Yeah, it's
but it could still go around a racetrack.
Yeah, I was on track with it this week actually, and it's still got very good body control.
Yeah.
So as you're talking about the transition there, on a racetrack you can do things to the car quite differently than you can do on the road, because you can sustain, a level of G going through a corner, much more than you can ever do on a road. But then on the transfers, you were saying, you can make the weight of the car shift from one side to the other quickly and quite aggressively.
Yeah.
And that really tells the story of the car.
Yeah.
So even though this has the longer suspension travel, we're saying in track mode, that's very controlled.
Yeah. It's a good car, this. Does it have nose lift, or does it not need
it? Does. Yeah, it does have nose. I mean, it's the highest front end of McLaren that we've ever produced, but it also still has nose lift for, you know, and there's a lot of, I remember speaking to a famous racing driver that lives in Monaco.
Which one would that be? They all live in Monaco.
Yeah.
Go on, drop a name, come on.
Doesn't cut it down much, does it really?
You can name drop on the channel if you like.
No, I mean, that'd be wrong, wouldn't be cool.
Be crass and uncouth.
Be wrong. Scottish. But he...
does he own a hotel in Monaco?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But to get his cars into his car park, he needs, it's really aggressive going to his car park, so he needs the nose lift.
Yeah.
So there are different circumstances where, you know, even though this is higher than any McLaren before, you would still need to lift the nose perhaps in those areas. But I know when I've been manoeuvring around driving this week, I haven't needed to raise the nose at all for, you know, sleeping policeman bumps, etc. I haven't needed to because it has got that high.
Yeah. I know it's a slightly different kind of type of car, but my Mini, now I've lowered it and I go into public car parks.
What do you like?
Scrapes
what
the front.
Do you like?
Scrapes the front really badly.
Lowered my Mini.
I now need a nose lift on my Mini. Right, we're going to go right here. See, I know this road really, really well. This route. It's a really great little route actually, because you've got a nice mix of tarmac surface, some good and some bad.
Yeah.
You've got some nice sweepy bends. It's not too long. It's almost like the perfect test drive route.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It does work well. And I think the key thing for me is that it gives the different surfaces. So that's just this dip down here, which is actually, don't overdo it, but you see lumps of tarmac missing.
Yeah.
But it's a nice way to actually feel again how does that the pitch on the car work through this dip as well.
And what's nice in the auto box there is just that acceleration. So it felt I was wanting to accelerate. It changed down, but it did it in a really nice. Yeah, I can imagine there's lots of. See that in a really low car, you're gonna hit the deck.
Yeah. But did you see how that rose up through the hill and absorb the bump, if you like. The compression. It does it extremely well.
It's a mighty good car.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Performance figures. So I know it's a GT. It's still massively rapid. We were talking just before we got in the car. About, you know, we're obviously of a similar vintage because we both lusted after a Renault
GT5,
Renault GT turbo.
That's right.
And
I never got one.
No, I didn't. I nearly bought one, but the guy had tweaked it. It had this like aluminium knob on the dash to turn the boost
one to
up.
avoid.
Oh my god, yeah, definitely want to avoid. But yeah, this does 0 to 200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Faster than that did 0 to 60.
Well, it does. It's 0 to 124 miles an hour, 0 to 200 k's.
Yeah.
And it's 9 seconds. And in fact, I think the Renault 5 GT turbo, I think it was 7.2 or 7.5, which was ridiculous. But 9 seconds to 200 kilometers an hour.
That is mildly mad.
Yeah.
But
so 720 is 7.8 seconds.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but it's clearly a very fast car. It's not intimidating at all.
No.
It's probably the least intimidating McLaren I've ever driven.
honestly, yeah, I agree with that.
And I would imagine you're probably going to get quite a few people buy this who might not have had a really top-end supercar before. They kind of and you don't want something that's going to frighten the life out of you.
Yeah, but also they want to go and do. They want something super aggressive, but also that you can, as you said, you know, you have a lot of luggage space both in the front and the back. Golf clubs will fit in the back, for example, so perhaps more usable. You know, it's quieter, it's easier to be in, if you will.
Yeah. Well, that's an impressive car.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I really, as I said, when I went to the launch, it was one of those ones I really can't wait to drive that. And thanks to a very kind invite a couple of weeks ago, that was very, very cool. The question is, I think what I'll probably do is I'll park it next to the pit garage, finish the video there, and then you can back it into the pit garage. Because it's gone really well so far.
Leave on a good note.
Let's leave it on a good note.
Yeah.
But yeah, really very impressive car. But there you go. Now that was a proper one take. So
Great stuff.
thank you very much for
A real
that.
pleasure.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. The new McLaren GT. Very, very impressive car. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. A huge thank you to McLaren New Forest for inviting me today to join the new McLaren GT, and I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.